Too many people spend far too long queuing up for all the wrong rides at Disney and Universal. You might be one of them. You didn't seriously think Seven Dwarfs Mine Train was going to be worth a 2-hour wait, did you? Please tell me you didn't. Oh God, you did. Why? But luckily for you, I've been going to Disney and Universal since I was 4 years old. So I'm going to share with you my Disney and Universal skip list, so you can make the most of your already too little time at Disney and Universal. So I'm going to start with all the Disney parks and then stick around to the end if you're a fan of Universal. So starting with Magic Kingdom, I'm going to be going from the third worst ride in the park and then finish on the absolutely do not ride this ride and queue for this ride no matter what. All in my opinion. So starting Magic Kingdom, the third worst ride for me has got to be Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. The ride is just way too boring for the amount of time that you are queuing up. Okay, I might have a personal vendetta from when I was a child and I queued for 90 minutes and it was just boring. So that might be why I don't like it, but I don't like it. The second worst park, I'm sorry, is Peter Pan's Flight. It's the same as the Dwarfs Mine Train. You can be queuing up for nearly 90 minutes. And queuing up 90 minutes for something that is starting to look a bit dated, I'm not sure it's the one. It's starting to feel like E.T. where you enjoy it, but you're looking at it going, this is getting a bit naff. But the number one do not ride in Magic Kingdom, it's Carousel of Progress. I will admit, it is a guilty pleasure. Whenever I am in Magic Kingdom, I am always riding Carousel of Progress. But for anyone who hasn't got that childhood nostalgia, don't bother. You're not queuing for long, but it can just be a bit boring. And you will have that song stuck in your head the entire day. There's a great big beautiful tomorrow. So moving on to Hollywood Studios, the 3 worst rides in Hollywood Studios. Coming in the third worst is Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. But I think this all depends on which job that you end up being assigned to, because I have been the engineer every single time and I have queued up for 45 minutes to press 2 buttons for the entire ride. I must admit, it's quite cool to go inside the Millennium Falcon and see the interior. That did help me as a Star Wars nerd a little bit. And I have heard that if you do end up with the pilot's job, it is a bit more fun. So I suppose this all depends on which role you end up getting. But for me, not worth it. Number 2, Alien Swirling Saucers. It feels bad putting it in the list because it's just a carousel ride. It's hard to exceed expectations. I just didn't think anything else deserved to be in the list over it, to be honest. And then the worst ride in Hollywood Studios, and I feel really bad saying it, it's Star Tours. It had its time. It is still a good ride, but compared to all the other stuff now, especially Rise of the Resistance, it just doesn't hold up anymore. That's the issue with Star Tours. Not that it's a bad ride, it is just struggling to keep up. I'm sorry, Star Tours. Now I am going to feel really bad because this is my favourite park in all of Disney. It's hard because every ride is good, so it's hard to pick 3 bad ones, apart from the number 1, which I really do not like. Coming in at number 3 is Living with the Land. I know I've probably broken a few hearts with this one, but I've heard, and I don't agree, I've heard a few people say it's boring. I'm not accepting it, but I can see how it can be. It is just a greenhouse and a boat, but I like it. I just enjoy relaxing, sometimes have a nap, to be honest. If you don't enjoy it for the ride, enjoy it for the nap. And then the second worst ride at EPCOT. And again, I love this ride, but it's so hard to pick the worst rides when they're all good. I had to pick some. So at number 2, I've gone for Spaceship Earth. Same as Living with the Land. If you're not interested in plants and farming, you're not going to enjoy Living with the Land. If you're not interested in history, you're not going to enjoy Spaceship Earth. They haven't got enough thrill factor to carry it. So that's why it's in number 2. But again, great spot for a nap. And then the worst ride at EPCOT, and I might have just had a bad experience when I was younger, Mission Space. I just felt really ill for a good amount of time after it. I don't know if it's the motion. I haven't done the one that's motionless, so I might be giving it an unfair rap here, but if you've got motion sickness, it's an absolute nightmare for you. That's why it's in number 1. Do you think there are any bad rides in EPCOT? Because I really struggled to pick 3. So what's your least favourite ride in EPCOT? Put it in the comments. Now for the last Disney park, it's Animal Kingdom, and recently Animal Kingdom's looking a bit sparse. So these are just the only 3 rides that weren't in my top 3 rides. There might even be some overlap there, I'm not sure. But the third worst ride for me is Navi River Journey. Absolutely stunning. Looks unbelievable, but it's just a water ride. And you can be queuing nearly an hour for it, sometimes more. And similar to the Dwarf's Mine Train, I think I just had a bad experience. When Pandora first opened, we rushed straight to Pandora to try and get on Flights of Passage, because we heard Flights of Passage was unbelievable. So we just got in the first queue we saw, was waiting for ages, got to the front, it was the River Journey. We were fuming. So I think maybe I was just severely disappointed from that. Possibly. But number 2, and this is one that I haven't actually seen, but the reviews of it are overwhelmingly bad. I've heard that the story's not very good and it just all feels very rushed. And I feel like if you want something that is underneath the tree, the main icon of the park, it needs to be something that everyone enjoys, and I haven't seen many. So this is in number 2 because you can't live up to It's Tough to Be a Bug. The worst ride in Animal Kingdom for me, and this might be a bit unfair because it's a water ride, so I feel like, but it's the Kali River Rapids. It's just a rapids. It's not greatly themed. In fact, I don't think there's any theming. And for a rapids, you don't even get that wet. So when you're comparing that to the likes of the Popeye Rapids at Universal Studios, where the theming is bob on and you come off it drenched, the Kali River Rapids just does not hold up for a rapids ride. So now that I've offended everyone who loves Disney, it's time for me to offend everyone that likes Universal and Islands of Adventure. Stick around. Right, so it's time for Universal Studios Florida, and the number 1 in this could be the worst ride I've ever experienced in my entire life. You do not want to go on that ride. My third worst ride is the Simpsons ride, and anyone who's been on it can probably guess why. It is a motion sickness nightmare. Even people who do not have motion sickness have come off that feeling ill. And the smell that when you, this is going to sound really weird if you've not been on the ride, but you get put into Maggie's mouth, and that smell, it sticks with you. It stuck with me. Number 2, Villain Con Minion Blast. What were they thinking? Like, it had such good potential. It's a shooting ride in Universal, which is something that I've never seen.
Do you not remember one single thing about me?
It just had so much potential, but for a shooter game, it's not very exciting at all. You're just on a conveyor belt shooting a screen, and I just found myself very bored, to be honest. But in number 1, it's got to be Fast and Furious Supercharged. My word. What an awful ride. It is genuinely terrible. The story makes absolutely zero sense. You are fighting this militia whilst on a party bus with The Rock and Vin Diesel. You get sprayed with unnecessary water. The CGI is shocking. Vin Diesel is the same size as a helicopter, which he's dangling from, and it's just terrible. It's a really bad ride. There's not many rides I would never go on again. If that was a walk-on and there was a 0 wait time for it, I still wouldn't do it, mainly because the queue is the best part, seeing all the cars. So if you're just walking through the queue, terrible ride, awful, get it gone. So now we're going across the lake to Islands of Adventure, which is a pretty strong park for rides in all fairness, but I have managed to whittle down to 3. The third worst is the Cat in the Hat ride. It's just sensory overload and it's just nightmare fuel with the animatronics. I just do not enjoy it. I do not like it. Kids might enjoy it. I do not like it. Second is Doctor Doom Fear Fall. It's just a dropper ride. You know, there's nothing special to it. It just takes you up, drops you down. I will admit, it's quite fun. It is quite fun. And it's normally a walk-on. If that's what you're into, ride it. If not, you're not missing much. But then the worst ride in Islands of Adventure for me is High in the Sky Seuss Trolley. It's slow, it's boring. You go pretty high, but it's just not very exciting. You know, there's some slow rides like the People Mover, which for some reason you enjoy, even though there's probably not as much stuff going on. I just didn't enjoy it. It was just very boring. I feel like I've said that a million times, but it was boring. So I think that's all of them. That's every park. I have not been to Epic, so I can't give you my top 3 worst rides there. But I have just bought a express pass for my trip in November, so I will be doing one after that. So stick around. But if you have enjoyed all this negativity I've been throwing about with the worst 3 rides in every park, then maybe you should check out my favourite 3 rides in every park for a bit of positivity and to give you a bit of hope that there is some good rides. There are some very good rides. And if you have enjoyed this video, video. Remember to tell YouTube that you actually enjoy my content by hitting that like button. And if you want to subscribe to the biggest Disney nerd in the north of England, hit that subscribe button. Give it a whack. But for now, I've been Josh, single rider. Until next time.